We think that this is beyond schools, it's beyond Portland. This is not red or blue, it's about saving lives. When you lose a son, what do? You do what you do best. I'm not a politician, I'm an artist, and I paint. That's what I do.
Yes, I don't know where you take me.
Okay, this Friday, Manuel Oliver, the father of Joaquin Oliver, one of the 17 people murdered more than a year ago in Parkland, kicks off a national tour of his one-man performance, Guac, My Son, My Hero.
The show brings Joaquin's story to life through storytelling, live painting, video, photography, and audience interaction. Manuel Oliver is here to talk more about the show. Welcome. It's so nice to have you.
Thank you for
very
having
much.
me here.
So before we get to the tour, the Trump administration is expected to roll out its proposal on gun violence this week. What does meaningful gun control mean to you?
Well, I have to see that happening. I mean, I've heard that many times. It was last week and the week before and the week before and the week before and a week after my son was actually shut down. So I am not, to be honest with you, I'm not expecting our president to solve this problem. I think sometimes he's part of a problem and not part of a solution. So I decided to take this by my own hands and I do what I do best, which is being an artist and represent my son.
You're doing an amazing job of it, too. But I want to ask you one more question about the gun violence issue in Washington before we talk about your show. One of the top Republican state senators here in Florida is quoted as saying, of all the things I reviewed and of all the ideas that have come forward, that's the one that seems to me the most common sense, not just to me, but to the average Floridian. He's talking about background checks.
Correct.
Now, after all this time, everything that's happened, not just Parkland, but also El Paso, Dayton, and just so many mass shootings, why do you think some lawmakers still cannot get behind something as common sense as background checks?
Because of money. It's not that I think. It's pretty obvious. I mean, I love the fact that all that information about how campaigns have been paid is out there, and we have access to it. We can see how the gun lobby is being somehow financing and endorsing these politicians. So that's the only answer to all this. Sometimes money has more value than people.
And we're seeing that.
Okay, so let's talk about the production. It has the support of the people behind Hamilton. It has the support of a lot of other people. How was the concept developed?
We came out with this idea. I'm an artist, so this is just another use of art to send the right message. I've always tried to make these statements from Joaquin more than art from his mother or father. So, but I don't know anything about theater. I have never been on stage before, so I needed to look for the right people. And this is when I was lucky enough to have a great team in New York. We started everything in New York, and now they took care of it. And I was able to learn a little bit of what they know.
Okay, you're an artist, so I'm just going to assume that before this horrible tragedy, you were not that politically involved or a political activist, right?
Yeah.
But now you're taking this on the road, and what impact do you think, you're taking it during an election year, what impact are you hoping to have on politics?
Well, I think that I'm looking for an impact on people, on voters, not on politics. I think that politicians will be whatever we want them to be. I think that our message is a social message first that will hit the culture, and then that will turn into politics at some point. The viewer of the show will identify with part of it or all of it. They will feel sad when they think that they could be me or their kids could be Joaquin. And then they will laugh because it's also a funny story, because my son was very funny and very cool. So I think that it's a different way of looking at the problem. I'm warning you what could happen to you. you could start reacting now before it hits you. I had nobody telling me this before, insisting in convincing me, hey, you should do something. And I regret that I wasn't doing this before, because probably that would be a way to save my kid's life.
But it looked, from the little clip we saw, it looked almost like it was the reaction that you've been having, the emotional reactions that you've been having to your son's death.
Well, Joaquin was a very good friend of mine, so I knew him so well. And for me, this is more than acting, it's reacting, and we keep discussing that. This is just me sharing a story, again, with a lot of training from people that know how to tell a story. I have a lot of passion for this project. Not many things make me have passion, because we went through the worst possible thing that could happen to you. So when I feel that this is somehow a way to be part of a solution, I feel good.
And you mentioned to us before we went on the air that you're doing this work for your son, and that you feel your son is doing the work through you also.
Along with me. We work together. I'm still a father. I'm still Joaquin's dad. I'll be Joaquin's dad till the day that I die. And the same way that other fathers need to go out there and show respect and support for their kids, I have to do the same thing.
Manuel Oliver, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me here.
Thank you. And reminder, tickets to Walk My Son, My Hero are still available. The first show on this tour is Friday, September 20th at the Colony Theater in Miami Beach.